Thank you for the nice introduction. And today I'd like to begin with, I'd like to ask you all a question, which is, when was the last time that you've read a book that you've really liked? Or, you can raise your hands if you all have read anything that you all have liked, like stories or, a book that you've liked. Yeah. And when was the last time you visited an exhibition or an art gallery where you've loved the images? You've done it recently? Yeah? Okay, and now I'm going to ask you that when was the last time somebody has written a story? Has anyone written a story like in the last month or so? Yeah? Okay, that's nice, some hands. And when was the last time somebody's, drawn a picture or doodled, but not as a part of academic work, okay? So, okay, that's nice. So, yeah, this is exactly what I want to talk about, which is, we're surrounded by so many different things, okay, and we sort of consume them, we take them in, we like them, we share them, okay, and we spend only a certain amount of time making them, yeah. So I also love making things. I've loved making cards, I've loved making drawings, I love making a mess when I'm working, and up until today also I keep making things. And the thing is that everything I make is translated from things, that surround me, that I've seen, that I've enjoyed, and things that make me, So, if you can take these things around you and turn them into something else or make something out of it, it's an incredible feeling because you're actually giving form to something. So, I basically, as a part of making, I love drawing. And, I love drawing, and I love drawing with pencils, with pens. I can draw with both as well, with colors, with wires, with inks, on walls. And I can also make people cook up images using different materials, yeah? And these materials sort of, they come together to shape the visuals I make. They come as my way of sort of painting, I use different materials to give shape to the visuals in my head. And it's, they give shape to the visuals, yeah. And I also love, making books. So these are some of the books that I've worked on. Most of them are printed by an organization called Pratham. They're available on Creative Commons. And as an artist, right? Like most artists and illustrators, even I have worked individually. I work on my own with these materials to sort of give shape to the visuals. And then I create books that have to work across different contexts and regions for children out there. So, materials come together to make the visuals, but the story also plays a very important role in helping me choose which material I'm working with when I'm making these visuals. So I'd like to talk about a book called Our Incredible Cow. It's written by an author called Mahashweta Devi. And she's a Bengali author. And this is a real life story from, her childhood, which is about her pet cow. And this cow, in the story, she walks around the house, she walks around the village, and she stumbles across different things, that come her way. And she gets into the habit of eating them. So she loves eating books. She eats all the books that she can find in the house. And she also loves eating off the banana leaves that the family has eaten on. Now, this is a Bengali family. So, yep. She begins to enjoy the flavor of fish and prawns and all sorts of things. And the story keeps getting more and more unexpected, because it's this, crazy, unpredictable cow eating all these incredible materials that keep coming her way. And this is how these materials, have come together to make her. And yeah, she loves the color blue. It's an essential part of her diet. So, this book was published, by Tulika. They're publishers based in Chennai, and it was published in 9 languages. So with more and more publishers making multilingual books and also, producing them at affordable prices, right? What happens is that because it's multilingual and affordable, they have a very wide audience across India. And then you also have a number of NGOs and organizations making these books available in remote areas. So this is an image of a little library that was set up by the Avalokiteshvara Trust in Ladakh. It's set up on the Indo-China border, okay? And the books that we make are actually available there to the children there. And this image, it got me thinking that I'm creating books over here, right? I'm creating books for children that I'm never going to see. So it's been the factor that has always driven me to produce books that are more vibrant, where I explore the medium more thoroughly. I can see if I can do something with the printing, because hey, it's the only way I'm going to reach them, right? And then what happened is that I had a chance to actually work with the children there. So from the materials that I work to the books that I make, which work across these regions, I had a chance to go to these regions and now work with the children there. So it's my workspace, the freedom that I enjoy with the materials I work with, the power to control which story I want to work on, how I want to illustrate on it, all this is now shared and extended to their workspace. And when these things came together, it was amazing because it gave way to, visuals and images that I never thought would be possible and stories that I could definitely not think of. So, and this is what keeps you motivated throughout the process, okay? So it's not just about going there and doing artworks, but the thing is that the children, right, they come back feeling that, hey, this is something I've made, this is something I own, and do you like it, and this is really important when you're doing workshops with them. Now, I've done workshops across these regions. I've worked in about 4 or 5 villages in Ladakh, a village in Himachal, in Andhra, and in Maharashtra. And the first time ever that I worked with children was in Ladakh. And this is a monastery school where I'm doing a pattern making workshop, with the monks over there. And after that, all the workshops that I did were a part of a project called Let's, which is Learn English Through Stories. It's a project that's taking place in IIT Bombay, funded by the Tata Trust. And as a part of it, we're trying to develop stories which help in English learning in these remote regions. And we did a series of storytelling, art, and game workshops across these regions. So this was the craft workshop that we did in a village called Khund in Himachal Pradesh. We also painted their school wall. So since everyone can't be a part of the workshop, everyone can come and paint on the school wall. And after that, we did workshops in Andhra Pradesh. This is Kuppam. And this particular place where the workshop is taking place is the Agastya International Center. It's an NGO which is also doing a lot of activities there. And we did an art and a storytelling workshop. It was attended by, girls from the local schools over there. And at this point, you can see that these children are coming together and, making things. So, when you go out there and when you make things, right, and when you give that power to other people, right, to come and work together, it's really great because it kind of multiplied, okay? They came in with their set of influences, their stories, and brought in their experiences and all that into the space. So for these workshops, we had children, who are writing and drawing and making their own stories, basically. And this thing, where they're coming together is extremely important because it's a lot of fun when you're working together. It's a lot of fun. But there are also a lot of overlapping ideas. There are stories that come out. There are challenges. There are solutions to it and many other things. And for me, it's turned into this huge environment. So every time I go out there now and, do these workshops, it's a little environment where I'm getting to learn and see things. And I'd just like to show you some things that, so yeah, they come together and, they make things together. So some children love drawing from picture books, okay? And some of them just love drawing from memory. Whatever they can remember, however they visualize it, they're free to draw it that way. Some people, they love going outdoors or indoors, looking at the things in front of them, and they draw from that. At times, when you look at the drawings, you can see that clearly they're from different regions, so it brings in their context. Give them any materials, whether it's a pencil or whether it's anything they can get their hands onto. As long as they have the freedom to work with it however they want to, the results are always, always amazing. And some children just love drawing a lot. So this particular child, right, her name is Neha Thakur. She's from the school in Himachal Pradesh. And she didn't have to be a part of the workshops, for all the days as they were taken across various classes. But she came every single day and from morning to evening she would draw. These are just some images, I have an entire pile of drawings that she's made. She's drawn enough to fill up an entire storybook. And now what we're going to do is we're just going to make a book out of all her drawings, around the story that she wrote. And then at the same time, you have other children who explore the material instead. They create textures, they play with it, they enjoy it, and they create all these unthought of images which can be drawn into, when you're making these books. Now, the main thing here is that materials do need to be available to these children. But apart from that, the main thing is that, do they have the freedom to work with it the way they want to? Can we just be a facilitator, sit back and say that, hey, everything's put here. Now, go make a mess, have some fun and make what you want to, And the other thing was that, are they getting sufficient time to work with these materials and, work and make things and enjoy themselves? Is there enough time to do that, at this point, we thought of bringing the teachers in because they play a very important role. In all the areas we go to, they do play a huge role in controlling these factors. And so we had teachers as a part of the workshop. This is, the story behind this one was really good because we didn't have to go and tell the teachers that, hey, can we, do a workshop with you all. The headmaster of this school, it's the Lamayuru Government School in Ladakh. And he insisted on a 2-day art workshop just for the teachers because, they didn't have an art teacher. So he figured that, if everybody had to pick up an activity and learn it, not only would they enjoy it, but they could always continue teaching different things, to the students. And after that, the workshops that we did with Let's across Kuppam, Dahanu and Khund, which is these workshops, they were all attended by teachers as well. So you have students coming to, you have materials coming together, stories coming together, teachers and children coming together, their art forms coming together, as a part of all this. And at this point, I began to feel that, okay, it's great, right, that the children are enjoying the work. The teachers are being a part of it. They're all working together. But, I'm also sort of getting inspired in this whole process because, like I said, I've worked individually up until now. This was the first time that I've also started working collaboratively. But what I realized was that my way of working has become a lot more connected now. And by, bringing the children into the storybook making process, you make it a lot more inclusive in terms of the visuals or what you're writing about and so on. The whole process becomes a lot more open. You're bringing in a lot more things that you wouldn't have earlier otherwise. And this entire concept of creating these stories was worked on as a part of the Let's project, where we managed to create books which are, interwoven with the stories of the people, in the regions that we went to. So we had books which were related to their culture, related to their context. And as a part of that project, this was one of the books that we worked on called, The Monster and the Little Boy. And it's a story that has been written, it's of the children, by the children and for the children of Dahanu, where they wrote it, they conceptualized it, and so the entire bookmaking process begins with them first writing a story. And yeah, you can see that about 7 or 8 children have sort of drawn it, and there's one child from from class 7 who's written the entire story. And he wrote the story in Warli, which is a dialect that is spoken in that region in Maharashtra. And after that, what happens is that the teachers and the students work together and they translate it into Marathi. And after that, our team would come in and we would create the entire story in English. So the entire book is available essentially in all these 3 languages while we created the English version for it. Now, to give you an idea of how the region looked, how the students are, what they do in their day-to-day life, and how it's reflected in their artworks, I'll just show you some. These are some students from the school there, and this is how the little boy in the book looked, okay? The little boy was the main character of the book. The school is surrounded like this. They have a lot of greenery around their school, and this is the path that takes them to the classroom. This is the path where they have a vegetable patch, and they have ponds, and, it's a lot of flora and fauna surrounding them. And that's how the forest in the story looked. This is where they do their, their lunch, and they also have activities taking place over here. And this is how the houses in the village looked. And most of the areas of the school, right, they're painted with the folk art over there. It's like the Warli art. It's a tribal art form, and most of the areas in the school are painted with it. And you can see how it's found its way into the visuals they made, Some of the visuals even came back like this with a lot of patterns. And the children over there are used to sort of doing their own cleaning. They sort of grow their own food in the vegetable patch there. They're used to doing things on their own over there, basically. And then we had a child that visualized the little monster, of the book. And this monster, yeah, he looks hungry and scary, and he loves eating children and, adults. All that said and done, he does his own housework. Okay, he's making his own pickles, and he's turning human beings into potted pickles so he can eat them on a day that he's really hungry. And, it was amazing because pickle making is also very popular in that region. You can see how their daily life and their mannerisms have found their way, into the story. And what was even more amazing is that, see, if I had to write a story, I'm not sure if I would ever be able to write a story like this for children. But this child wrote a story which had blood and killing and, human beings turning into potted pickles, I wouldn't have ever thought of it. And it works for them. And they're extremely happy, like they were happy and excited to read it at the end. So this is how they would come together. They would draw together or individually on their own. And different children, like I said, we kept it very open-ended. Once the materials are given, you're free to draw whatever you want to. Whether you want to draw trees or animals or just create patterns, it's up to you. But when the drawings came back, I would turn it into a little library. This is just all the trees that were drawn in that region. And that sort of turns into a library when you're building the book. So this is how the completed book, 2 pages of the book look. And this is the format that I gave the, sort of thought that the book could be in, because, hey, it's a book about a monster and there has to be something big and large about the book, and this book can be read like by 2 or 3 children together, they can enjoy it together. That was the whole idea behind it. So, just to show you how, I have a copy of the book that was made. And that's how it is, okay? You can come on that side. Okay, hold this. So, yep, it just goes on, and yeah, that's how it looked finally. And this is entirely, written and drawn by them. We would just sort of put it together. Yeah. And it's amazing because I don't think I would ever be able to, no matter how hard I try, I can't draw like that, They bring a different sense of drawings and images, when they draw. So yeah. And that's, yeah, how it looked. Yep. Here you go. Oops, sorry. And as a part of this project, we're also developing other stories, and this is just work in progress, but just to give you an idea of how each storybook brings a different thing, with it. So this is a book that is based in Himachal, and this particular story, it brought out the interiors, it brought out what they wear, it brought out, the type of scenery or the type of plants you would see there. This one is based in Andhra Pradesh. It's about the animals, And all these drawings are like really incredible. This is the forest is all about the colors that they see there in that region. And, so essentially by, taking these, materials that I love working with and the kind of fun that I have working with, I've kind of managed to transfer it, to the children I work with. And then what's happened is that they've come back with these local and unique stories, which otherwise I alone, it's impossible for me to do it just on my own, sitting out of my workspace. So, we now have books which are written by them, books that are drawn by them, books that are made by them. These books have a different color, different texture, a different palette altogether. These books are about their region, about their animals, about things that they do in their daily life. And most essentially, these books have their names on it. It's because the whole idea was that we had to take art and, show them that, hey, it's not just, it's not just art. You can, actually do something with it. You can make something. And that's something that you could, you make is, something related to you. It's a part of you, And what we've done here is we've turned the book readers in those regions into book creators and made way for the type of stories that came back finally. So for all those of you who love doing, different things, you love watching things, you love sharing things, you love, listening to music or whatever it is that you like doing, right? I just want to say that do more of it, do a lot of it, but absorb it, mull over it, get obsessed with it and make something, whether you want to make food or whether you want to write code, whether you want to make a piece of machinery or whether you want to make a painting, but just go out there and make something. Because, when making is incredible also, but you'll also keep getting better and better at it, So you'll not just be sharing things, you'll also not just be liking it, but you'll be making a lot of those things that you've liked at some point. And yeah, the whole thing is that just, get together and make something today. That's it. Thank you.